NXP Semiconductors NXPI Beginner's Guide. If you have ever sat in a modern car and noticed how much of it feels like a computer on wheels, the digital dashboard, the lane keep assist, the over-the-air software updates, there is a very good chance that NXP Semiconductors made some of the chips quietly running underneath all of that. NXP is the world's #1 automotive semiconductor company, which just means it sells more chips to car makers than anyone else on the planet. This is an educational walkthrough of what the business actually does, not stock advice, just the company itself. So, what does NXPI actually do? NXP sells specialty computer chips, and its business splits into 4 buckets. The biggest by far is automotive, at about $1.78 billion of revenue in the latest quarter, or 56% of the whole company. Inside cars, NXP supplies the S32 line of SDV processors. SDV stands for Software-Defined Vehicle, which is just the idea that cars are starting to behave more like smartphones, where features get added through software updates instead of new hardware. It also makes MCUs, microcontrollers, the tiny brain chips that handle small specific jobs like rolling down a window or controlling a brake, plus radar chips for collision warning, and Ethernet chips for moving data around the car at high speed. The second bucket is industrial IT at about $628 million, or 20% of the company. IT stands for Internet of Things, which just means everyday machines that connect to the internet. Think factory robots, energy storage systems, smart appliances, even data center equipment. NXP's i.MX processor family is the workhorse here, and a newer line called i.MX-RT plus MCX microcontrollers grew 75% year-over-year in the latest quarter, accounting for half of all the growth in this segment. NXP also acquired a startup called Kinera to add an NPU, a neural processing unit, basically a small AI chip, onto its i.MX processor so machines at the edge of a network can run AI without sending data back to a cloud. The third bucket is mobile, at about $391 million or 12% of the company. This one is about secure transactions on your phone. When you tap your phone to pay, or use it as a digital car key, or unlock a door with ultra-wideband, an NXP chip is often handling the secure handshake. NXP groups 3 technologies here: NFC, SA, and UWB. NFC is near-field communication, the tap-to-pay protocol. SA means embedded secure element, a tiny vault on the phone that holds your payment credentials. UWB is ultra-wideband, a precise short-range radio used for things like finding your keys or unlocking your car as you walk up to it. The last bucket is comms infrastructure at about $380 million or 12%, where NXP sells UCODE RFID tags. Those are the radio frequency identification stickers that track packages and inventory, plus digital networking chips that go into data centers. So, who does NXPI compete with, and how does it win? NXP has what is called a wide moat. Moat is finance shorthand for a competitive advantage, the thing that keeps other companies from easily catching up. The moat here has 3 pieces. First is that car design lock-in. When a car maker picks a chip, they design it into a vehicle platform that takes 3 to 5 years to build and then runs in production for another 7 or more years on top of that. That means switching costs are enormous. Once an NXP chip is in the design, it stays for the life of the car. About 56% of NXP's revenue is parked behind those long auto cycles. Second, NXP is the only company that offers a full stack of automotive chips in one portfolio: MCUs, larger processors, analog chips that handle real-world signals, RF chips for wireless, and security chips, all under one roof. For the car maker, that simplifies life: 1 supplier instead of 5. As the car industry shifts toward what is called central compute, where one big processor takes over jobs that used to be done by dozens of small ones, the players who already sell those higher-end chips, like NXP, get the inside track over lower-end competitors, including newer Chinese local suppliers. Third is the SDV platform itself, NXP's S32 processors plus middleware from a company it bought called TT Tech, plus high-speed in-car networking from another acquisition called Aviva Links, give car makers a complete software-defined vehicle stack. Customers commit to that stack for multiple vehicle generations, which is hard for any single chip rival to displace. What are the key drivers for the business over the past 5 years? 3 forces have driven the business over the last 5 years. First, software-defined vehicle wins. NXP's S32N and S32K5 processors became the backbone for next-generation, centralized car computers, and the TTTech Auto and Aviva Links acquisitions filled out the rest of that platform. The slice of NXP's automotive revenue tied to these strategic SDV drivers is roughly 45% of the auto segment, and it has been growing in double digits, while the broader car market has been weak. Second, an inflection in industrial processing. The I.MX, I.MXRT, and MCX families grew 75% year-over-year in the latest quarter. That single product line accounts for half the growth in the entire industrial IoT segment. Bringing Kinara's Edge AI NPU into I.MX has opened what NXP describes as a sales pipeline of more than $1 billion and more than 30 customer proof-of-concept projects. A proof of concept is a small trial run a customer does before committing to a full design-in. Third, a hybrid manufacturing strategy that is lifting profit margins. NXP makes about 37% of its wafers in-house and gets the rest from outside foundries, mainly TSMC, the Taiwanese chip giant. But it has set up 2 joint ventures with TSMC, one called VSMC in Singapore, with Vanguard, currently 67% through its ramp-up, and one called ESMC in Europe at 30%. When both are fully running by 2028, NXP expects roughly 200 basis points, about 2 percentage points of structural improvement in gross profit margin. In plain English, the same revenue dollar will turn into more profit. To wrap up, so the one-sentence summary, NXP is the world's #1 automotive chip maker, with a wide moat from multi-year design-in cycles, a full-stack auto portfolio, and a growing SDV platform, plus a side business in industrial AI chips, secure mobile transactions, and data center networking. If you are watching this company as a learner, 2 things are worth keeping an eye on: how fast the SDV processor wins translate into shipped vehicles, and whether the Kinara-powered Edge AI processors keep adding new customers. Again, this was an educational overview, not investment advice. The goal was to help you understand the business itself before you start researching the stock.